Sian looked at him, deeply into his eyes, and waited. There's a reason that you came to us when you did, and a reason that you said you saw what you did. She drew you towards us. She? The girl? Yes. No one knows who she is, or what she is, or how she has such power over us and the land, but she's been given the name Fantoma. The land that you saw in your dream, that was how this land started many, many centuries ago. Centuries? Oh, what are you saying? The king of Romania had a dream, and in it he heard about the power of the Cartea, this book. He commissioned a nobleman of the village to retrieve it for him. His family, servants, and him traveled south for decades before reaching this land. Then, realizing the truth, he planted trees for wood and built shelter for his family and himself. And more people became drawn to this area and, realizing the truth, developed a community and have lived here ever since. The truth? What truth? The truth that the book never existed, only she exists. And once you enter into this town, there is no way she will let you leave under pain of death. We are her puppets, and live together in a community that she rules with an iron fist. Yeah, she's just a little girl. No, that's how she presents herself. In that way, she makes the person want to be with her, to help her. She shows a vulnerability and then she grabs them. In truth, she is a spirit, a phantom, a powerful and evil entity that reeks of hatred, blood, and vengeance. Sian breathed deeply, let it soak in, and then encouraged him to continue. Iago looked at her and then held her hands in his, fearful that if he did not hold her, she would run and never be seen again. After the nobleman did not come back, my father was sent in his place. 20 years later, no word was heard, so my brother was sent. Iago paused, looking at her more intensely. 20 years later, I was sent. So that would make you about 57 years old? Sian, that was 300 years ago. She stared at him. She didn't know what to say or what to believe yet. Looking at him calmed her, and after some time she breathed deeply and continued. So, you're a little older than I thought. That's not too bad. Iago smiled broadly. I expected you to be disturbed and run out of here, he said softly. Then you don't know the way that I feel about you. She has the ability to stop time, I see. Yeah, she preserves everything in a pristine manner. Even this house has been preserved by her in exactly the same way as my father built it all those years ago. Everything that has been built since has also been preserved through time. My family left many documents on exactly what happened here, apparently realizing what damage and destruction she could cause. The noble who she drew onto this land first went mad, according to the documents, ran into the distance and was found the next morning, burnt, hanging from the neck from one of his trees that he had planted. Some more people, servants of the nobleman, also tried running, but were found the morning after, burned and hanging by their neck from the trees. My father and brother wrote many accounts of how she tormented the townsfolk, impaled them, hung them, burned them alive, until my father bound her. I had no idea he had so much power in him, but according to the documents, he fought her in the shape of a draig and managed to confine her, ironically, into a book, if you could call that demon her. She was definitely calling for you to release her from that book, and that's what that dream was about. A draig? Yes, that's a Welsh word meaning dragon. It's an ancient myth that people of noble blood, having gone through the proper rituals and having looked into the eyes of death, when needed to fight evil, could transform into the physical form of a dragon. My father fought through wars and survived, so in a sense had stared at death in its evil face, so he had the ability to physically transform into a mighty draig. Did you have those rituals done to you? I suppose so, as my father had rituals done to him, and the fact that I was of noble blood, but one had to have their souls torn apart in battle for the draig to be released, and that's where I fall short. I still have my soul intact. Unfortunately, the ability to manifest into a draig died with my father. No, fortunately, not unfortunately, Iago. You wouldn't have been the wonderful man that you are, with your soul in shatters. He lifted her hands to his face and kissed them. She smiled, deeply in love with him. Then another thought struck her. Why did she speak Romanian, and why to me? She apparently sees all threat to her as Romanian, as everyone who first tried to destroy her was Romanian. Clearly she sees you as a threat. You may not know why or how, but she does. Sian thought for a while. This entity was obviously delusional. Sian was a pathetic human being, scared of the dark, scared of new things and scared of new situations, scared of being alone, scared of everything. There was no way that she could ever be a threat to something so powerful. She looked up at him, but his eyes looked troubled. So she decided not to bother him with her pathetic insecurities. Why didn't your father kill her while he had the chance? She asked. If she was destroyed, the entire town would be destroyed too. That's what the documents say. Apparently my father disregarded the warning that was written by the nobleman, trying to destroy it, and killed himself, taking half the town with him. My brother also decided to try destroying it after she started regaining some of her strength, but the same thing happened to him. He died, and half the town was taken with him. Then it was harmless. No newcomers, no dreams, no visions, nothing for 300 years. Then 1 or 2 new villagers started arriving, then nothing. Until you. You saw a road next to the town, didn't you? Yes, that night that I came to your town. The town was on the left-hand side of the road, with a gravel road leading to it. That's why everyone's talking about it. The description is too perfect, and Although you physically felt as though you were driving on the road, that road does not exist. This is a flat piece of land and is lifeless and flat for kilometers. Yet for you, she conjured up a road, erased your memory and led you here. Why so much trouble for you? Oh, believe me, if I knew I'd answer that, but I have no idea. I do know. Where is the best place to keep your enemy? Right where you can see them. You hold the key to destroying her. You just don't know it yet. Have you ever asked yourself why Alex wanted to marry you so earnestly? No, but I assumed it was because I was the new interest of the town. It was her influence. She gave him those desires to prevent us from meeting, thus you would never have known the truth about this place. Well, fate has its own surprises. No, I don't think that us meeting is due to fate. Since the first day that I saw you at my door, it felt as though I was drawn to you in a way I could never imagine, almost as if you held the key to my survival, and I knew that I wanted to be with you forever. Sian, I saw the light on and was curious to see if we had a new arrival or not. A new arrival would mean that she would be getting stronger, and then I saw you dancing without a care in the world, and I was incredibly envious yet intrigued, and now I am incurably smitten. He rubbed her arms and smiled broadly. With so much that you've just learned, you seem completely normal. Doesn't any of this scare you? Yes. Incredibly, she smiled. But what I've learned in this life is that one should act first, then panic later. I'm just choosing to act first. Words of a wise woman. My mother would certainly have approved of you. What are we going to do now? You are going to go to Rose and tell her everything. She has been around for much longer than you think. Yes, I guess that. And I'm going to see the town council with news. She's getting stronger, and we have to do something about it. I don't want to leave you, Iago. It's only for a while. If we do nothing, we can be together forever. Sian, my love, she's getting stronger. Very soon she'll break free from her bondage and kill us all in revenge. Only by killing her can we be safe, but it's going to be a bit tricky. Go to Rose. You need to be in some friendly company after last night's dream. So, you're saying that we can destroy her? I think there is a way, and that's why I have to speak to the town council. These men have been around since the time of my father and have seen all the battles. They can advise me where to go from here, what has failed in the past and what will work now. They both got up, and Sian fixed her hair in the mirror. Iago stood behind her and looked at her reflection in the mirror. I've only known you this short time, and it feels as though I've known you my entire life, he said softly. She turned around and hugged him. Once again she had to force herself to let him go. As she released him, he stroked her face and kissed her forehead. staring at him for one last time. She left. She didn't feel completely at ease, but she trusted him.